Hey, it looks like we're live.
Uh, I've never been able
I'm
to
not going
tell.
to believe it until I see it on my phone right in front of me.
Oh.
But it says that I'm live. Hey,
Well,
everybody.
I'm gonna go with yeah. That probably means maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
my phone's just screwy.
I mean, whatever,
All right,
whatever.
let me see. Oh, there I am. Okay, very good.
Why can't I
Things are
see my
working well. All right.
screen? Learn more. What's up, Fantinuum?
All right, Fantinuum's in the room. Jilby Pill, Wool Stamps here.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to our 1000th episode. Is that how you say it? We have
Yes.
decided that if Marvel can have a 1000th comic book and DC Comics can celebrate Wonder Woman's 750th issue, even though it just started a few years ago, it was just 82 the other day.
And now it's 100K or
Bam!
1,000.
Here we are. All right. Celebrate, everybody. I got my drink ready right here. A little whiskey. Some Jamesons from the corner market.
Booze Hound.
Oh my gosh, it tastes so good.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe that's not what it was.
I'm glad you enjoy it though. That's good.
No, I like it. I mean, it's nothing like, super spectacular. What whiskeys do you drink out there in the audience? Hey, Corey's in the oh, you said hi. Very good.
You can say hi too. It's cool.
I did say hi. Hi, Corey. How's it going? So we got the blue and the red being represented. Yeah, well,
in my world, it's red and green,
right there. Boom.
and there is no blue.
Oh,
Well, there is, but they're not in the. They're not in the. Well, they're trying to get into the race with GPUs, but they're not yet.
Have you heard about? Oh, that doesn't matter to you.
Great story. Oh my goodness! Wow, my heart stopped.
Have you heard about the Houston Astros?
You mean them cheating?
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
Have I told you how far the extent of that supposedly went?
Wait, what? No, but I mean, I don't know what that means, but go on.
So
just tell me more.
The original way that they were cheating, and this is what they got fined and in trouble for.
Not enough.
Yeah, like $5 million. It was a center field camera zooming in on the catcher, getting the sign, relaying it, and then a trash can being hit behind the dugout. Oh, wow. Right. Supposedly, possibly, there's some evidence that would suggest that maybe they were wearing buzzers also. So like one buzz was a fastball and two buzzes was maybe a curveball. Two buzzes was.
Okay. Yeah, one if by land, two if by sea, right?
I think like there was one specific moment where when the Houston Astro hit a home run to win this and go into the series, he's like, don't pull my shirt. He's like, everybody's coming. It's traditional that you rip the game-winning home run or hitter, you rip his crap off. I wouldn't want it either, but I'm kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like fun being stripped naked. Sounds like a George R. Martin novel or something.
I don't know how to respond to that. I've never imagined it being a positive thing, but I've never really imagined it either.
But there's pictures of like a stripe going down inside his shirt.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Oh yeah, because he was participating. He's complicit.
He's a goddamn cheetah. That's what he is.
Whatever.
You cheetah.
Not gonna look it up.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I need a better vocabulary, though. That's a fact.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Fantinuum. We're going to get into a whole discussion.
A lot of trouble.
A whole discussion about rebranding.
Ooh, are we? Oh, because we changed it. Are we? What?
I mean, look at us right now. We are at a
crossroads.
Significant episode that should not be forgotten.
1000Kth episode.
How can you go any farther than this?
We have
I
more
mean,
episodes than anybody.
Etienne was like suggesting, maybe renumbering, maybe, going 1001, whatever. Maybe we should just jump it to like 1,000,000 or something like that.
We did.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly what we did. And hooray! Thanks to everybody who have gotten us here. We couldn't have done it without you. Fantinuum, Gilby Pill, Corey, and boy, unfortunately, I think we've been ditched by Bruja yet again. And then, of course, there's other people that come in later.
If Bruja can't make it, we still love her.
She's all stuck with her husband, having to do things with him. It's like
stuck. That's
Jesus.
the term I would use as
I'm
well.
like, Bruja.
Spouse. I'm stuck with this one.
It's about time, is all I'm saying.
Well, whatever.
You can only watch so many freaking movies,
Well,
she's not a flake. She's just a traitor, is what she is.
Maybe she's just truant. Maybe she'll be here.
By that time, she'll have fallen asleep.
Yeah, no kidding.
Excuse me while I celebrate.
What are you celebrating? Our 1000th episode?
Yeah, it's
what a number. If we want nobody to know what our numbers mean, then we should use Roman numerals. It's like, that's a tell if ever there was one. I mean, do kids need to learn that stuff these days? And I'm guessing they don't.
Yeah.
Did you learn those? Did you learn your Roman numerals?
Yeah, I mean, to some degree. I don't think I remember everything. I mean, I know that the bigger number and the subtracting and the smaller number and all that stuff, but
yeah. So can you tell me what year a movie was made by the Roman numerals in the movie?
Possibly. I don't know. I might be
whatever. It's very not important.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to bog. Here's something I don't know anything about, and that's math. I mean, I'm okay with Roman numerals, XXX, all that stuff.
30.
Yeah. And then if it's 29, what is it? A 1XXX?
No.
Only for the Super Bowl. That's right. I can't remember. Yeah. Because XXX1 would be 31.
No, it would be XXVIII.
Yeah. 5 is V.
I is 9.
You can't do 4 I's.
Yes, you can.
Can you?
What is the? Oh no, IX. You're correct.
All right, we're gonna end that there.
XXIX.
I love being right.
XXIX. Yes.
I can tell you what Rocky I've seen. How's that? That's the important thing.
I don't know.
If you can equate it to Rocky or Friday the 13th movie. No. Nightmare Before Elm Street movies, I think they're the ones that do it also. Anyhow, talking about rebranding, maybe talk about the store a little bit also. I've had quite the week talking about it with customers. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, we've been really letting people know that something was coming. And last week, we have been distributing literature to customers that have been coming in, poll customers that are regulars but aren't poll customers, about what's going on. And for the most part, we've had pretty good success with people. You want to share what you're giggling about? No. Okay, very good. We've been having success with people saying, a lot of people are, I live in that area. So maybe it might not be so big, bad a thing. Of course, then Eugene comes in and lets me know about stuff that's a little bit more than just that poo pipe I was telling you about.
Oh, something better than that?
Oh, my God. Oh.
It also happens to be on a gas main, and what else could go wrong, man?
Well, there's also a brush that goes in and messes up the pipes and everything, so it needs to get cleaned up.
Like, as in, you have to do the brushing, or what?
No, the homeowners association in that area takes care of it. And then Eugene, I'm like, oh my God, really? Seriously? And then Eugene's all, well, that's the reason why we got it for a song.
The store.
It's just like every time, like, all right, all the pipes run under this place. And could potentially, if something goes bad, will destroy our entire inventory in that one area.
Don't put your inventory there.
I know. So it's like everything has just been shrunk, like even
That's
more
your
so.
clearance. That's your clearance section.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking like insurance section.
Insurance. Yeah. Well,
Those are your top dollar books that you can't sell. Top dollar books that you just can't get rid of them. Just put them right there. Just wait.
So I want to say hi
sorry.
to Eli and, of course, Diablo Hashcraft. Hey, everybody. We're talking about the store and moving to 1708 MLK. That'll be happening.
Isn't it the Alameda up there?
Say, what was that?
I thought it was the Alameda north of University.
My directional on these streets is always sort of off.
Yeah.
So I can tell you where I'm going. We could Google map it.
So the answer is you don't know, and I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, that whole north-south thing. Yeah, exactly. But it's on MLK going towards Virginia. We're going towards Solano.
Yeah, I know approximately where it is.
So yeah, we're gonna take that place over, and I have been giving literature to people that have been coming in.
Ooh, like pamphlets? Are you giving out pamphlets?
I've been giving out pamphlets. I also took flyers over to the Berkeley Comic Show, which happened this last Saturday, and it was cool. A lot of people came by and were like, "Oh, didn't know."
Didn't know there was a comic book store in Berkeley.
Yeah, well, we're going to be having a sale starting in February. And hey, Bob, what's up? Comic Book Bob does the Wrestling Council with me. We're just talking about the failings of being on Shattuck Avenue for our store. Fantastic Comics, and how I'm moving just a little bit of ways and what to expect for anybody. So it's kind of like nuts and bolts of the store, and kind of probably boring for anybody who just wants to talk about regular comic books. But those will be happening soon. And I'm also going to let you know about what I got at the Berkeley Comic Show. Some of it's pornography.
So apparently it's the Alameda once you cross way north, Berryman Street, which I've never even noticed or paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
So you're good to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot
Approved.
of people. So the thing that is really cool about moving to this area is that we are actually a neighborhood comic book store, as opposed to being a comic store in the city, the city of Berkeley.
The city of, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still in Berkeley, but now I'm surrounded by like
Dinkytown,
a neighborhood, potential. I don't know. It could be interesting. In the very least, rent will be cheap. And if I can get a majority of my customers to come in and order what they want and come in regularly, we could benefit positively. I mean, it could be very good for us going forward because of all those other things. But of course, sewage.
Do you like to make pros and cons lists?
Sure.
I love to do it.
We could do it.
If I actually have to choose to do something and it's a big decision, I will always make a pro and a con list, right? And I can think of one real big pro for moving down there.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Not being in downtown Berkeley.
Whew. My goodness, guys.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is. Let's be honest. You're not going to be bothered by all sorts of people, all sorts of desirable people.
Yeah. Just to answer Eli, it is a little white building. And right now it is an annex for a bike store. a co-op bike store that isn't actually in that area. So there's like 2 bike stores. Ours is the one that's never open, and we're kicking them out. And then there's the other one that's always open. Yeah, exactly. Less crazies. Whew. Oh man, they were out in force today.
I have seen things I cannot unsee on that street.
Yeah, I was walking down the other day and I got to the point to this part, and you just don't know. You're crossing the street, you're looking left, you're looking at the people that are in front of you. And right past this one little barrier of maybe like some plants or something, there's this lady sitting in a wheelchair, and she's like almost all naked.
Could have been worse.
It's a lot of lady.
Yeah.
And the dude looks next to her is like Charles Manson looking, and
so
not as with it as Charles Manson.
Normal,
just like dark hair, short beard, gray, short guy. I'd call him a Charles Manson looking like guy. The cosplay. He was in Charles Manson cosplay, not a Charles Manson, note on his head or anything like that.
That's not a note.
I'm
pretty sure it's a swastika.
I didn't say anything. I said none of that. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey man, if that's on your forehead, you are not a sane person. So it's okay to say what it is that he put on a forehead.
Oh, that old Charlie, everybody said.
Funny guy, Charlie. No, not funny. That dude is insane.
Hilarious. And quite a
still alive.
Quite a musician.
Yeah, well.
Is he still alive?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I don't pay attention to the news. Did he die in the last 10 years?
All right, here's a good one. Yule and I once called the cops on a potential homeless rape situation. This is when Jill had moved in with me on Shattuck at Aaronell's, I think, by this time.
Yeah.
I lived on top of a pizza store.
Smells so good.
In a building on one of the top floors. And as we were coming back from Tower Records, which was on Durant and Telegraph, I maybe she wasn't even working that day. It doesn't really matter. It's a stupid story if you got to get hung up on that. Basically, there was this like lady in a sleeping bag with another dude in a sleeping bag, and she's like, and kind of like, I'm like, pick up a payphone, and I just dialed 911. What's going on?
Oh,
That's right. I don't know about rape, but definitely coercing. You've heard, this was many, many years ago. You hear about it now that situations like that on the street are a big time thing going on.
I'm not even remotely surprised.
Me either, but
nobody cares what happens to the homeless.
There's a statistic. There's enough people that count it.
Yeah, they should be counted, but nobody cares about the homeless people. So why would they care what they do to each other?
Aaronell's, the paper towels. Yeah, or a bag to carry them in, or they charge you a lot for the box. And they're also, I've never had bad service there, but I know there's plenty of people, maybe somebody in chat, that doesn't appreciate their service.
They're rude.
It's the last place where you can hear some good music.
That's all right.
Something that isn't kid approved or
parent approved.
Kid approved, probably,
Definitely kid approved. Yeah.
Oh man, living above Aaronell's was like, just to let everybody know, it was an apartment, and like if I'm sitting on the floor because that's what we did back then. Had a drink, spill the drink, it rolls downhill. Oh, stop it. If you don't stop it, it'll just keep rolling because the carpet's like, it's like linoleum carpet. That's how hard it is. And it just rolls downhill. The windowsill was like this. It closed up and down, but it was like that. Anyway, that's enough talking about Aaronell's. So yeah, so store moving 1708, not closing. I was trying to word things at one time, or wanted to word things at one time, that, oh, hey, you know, we're closing and we're gonna have a big sale. And everybody was like, oh, well, you have to say that, you know, you're moving, blah, blah, blah. So I do. I add all the words. I add all the, you know, the purple prose, you know, to make it sound okay, or at least what I think sounds okay for the customer. And then we send out an email, and I have the little flyer, and almost everybody that comes in is like, you're closing. I'm like, no, we're moving.
I have an idea.
I read the letter. No, you didn't read the letter.
I have an idea.
Yeah, what's that?
How about you ask everybody that you're telling how they would like for you to get them their comic books, and see what they say.
How do you mean?
Ask everybody that you're telling that the store is moving.
Yeah.
We're moving. How would you like us to get you your comic books? And see what they say.
How would you like me to get to you your comics?
That's not what I said, but it's pretty close.
How would you like me to get you some comics? How would you like me to bring you comic books?
Yes, that's the idea.
How would you like me to provide comic books for you?
Yes, that is the idea.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is, rather than actually sell them from that storefront where everybody's going to have to like come to, what I'll do instead is just have my Square card on my cell phone. And then I'll go to where we used to have a store, and I'll set up a table there, and I'll compete with the candy sellers, and I'll sell my comics there, and I won't have to worry about rent. What do you think?
You're making light of my question. I am serious.
I'm serious too.
No, you're not. You're not getting a Square card and a folding table.
All I need to do is take some Batman with me.
You're not going to do that.
Fine.
You're not going to do that.
All right, fine.
What if one of your customers provides you with like a brilliant idea that you never ever thought of, and you're able to recognize it as a brilliant idea and capitalize on it? That's
awesome. I would love that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm putting it out to anybody that listens to this show. Please, for once, put down in the comments after the fact, or
how to fix is broke.
Now, how do you? I mean, there's digital, obviously. We don't do that.
How do you transition?
There's mail order, but you could go to someone that does a mail order already. So other than having me do something that somebody else does, I think that'd be the one caveat. So what could I do to get comics to you?
Delivered to, I mean, maybe they want them delivered at work.
It doesn't necessarily have to be delivered. You know,
that's true. That's true.
I mean, I like going to a comic store personally.
I think it's a shame that you cannot sell digital copies in your store, like with a little kiosk, you know, tiny little thing. There's like, I just want a boop $1, and you get like 10 cents.
Rattler's got it right there.
So that actually
through a shirt gun.
That reminds me, because
I'm gonna ball them up.
I saw alcohol being sold to people in Naples, Italy, where they would drop money out the window or in a bucket, and then little kids would take the money, run down the street, go buy the alcohol, bring it back and put it in the bucket with the change. And then the bucket would get hoisted up. You could do something like that. It would be great.
Yeah, you could do that. That would be, well, you know, how about this? Why don't I do it a little bit more old school? And I get a spider monkey.
Call him on the phone.
And the spider monkey could like climb up the outside of the building, and then
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the sidewalk drone or robots, we have the drones.
Yeah. Drone delivery would be cool.
I obviously, well, drone. Yeah. Is that even really a thing? Become a Lyft driver. Yeah. That's, I was thinking that.
Minivan.
I will not become a Lyft driver. I will not become an Uber driver, but that would be a good way to do it.
It would be all right.
So maybe like I should just hire an Uber driver while he's not doing anything. So do you moonlight?
Exactly. Great idea.
Yeah. And while we're at it, if you can bring me some customers, I'll cut you in on some of the action, some of that that sweet, sweet comic action. Yeah, Grubhub. That's another one. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that. They charge 30% of the bill for food places. And the thing about a food place as opposed to a comic store is, well, I mean, you could do it as a comic store actually, because we got a resale license. Sorry, the new comic that costs $6 is now a $20 book if you get it through Grubhub.
Yeah, well, I mean, offer the service. Who knows?
Offer
Maybe
the
some
service.
people, maybe somebody would go for it. You never know. What does it hurt you to find out? It would be hilarious.
Oh, geez, these guys. You know, I did want in the store when we first opened up.
Don't say it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. Yeah, they're talking about bikinis and
Oh
stuff.
no,
like
I've been to one of those places. Actually, I've been to two, but one of them was in Colorado, and it's a thing. People do it. They're popular.
Bikini comics, that'd be all right, right?
I guess depends on who's in the bikini, Rory.
Yeah, I guess so. They would cost too much anyway. They would expect some, not help you out with your comics.
You have to give them a percentage. They can't get a flat rate, right? They have to be smart enough to go for that deal.
Yeah, it's just better to just sit in a corner and wait for somebody to come in, probably.
Sit in a corner.
Well, of course, we're going to talk about, or do internet sales and stuff like that. Also, hopefully, going forward, there's what is it? There's this app that's coming out soon, and it's kind of like how you do with Instagram, but it's specifically for comic books and selling to people.
They're going to take a cut.
I think the cut is the service itself.
You mean you pay for the service?
Yeah.
How much?
I'm not sure how much it's going to be, but I'm
if
looking
it's
forward
cheap,
to seeing it.
If it's cheap, that's a good deal.
Well, I assume originally it will be. Anyway, so it might be better than actually selling like on eBay. I hear that a lot of people are upset or not happy with buying things from California because now they get taxed, even if they're in a state that doesn't get taxed normally.
Not on Instagram.
Exactly. And having a comic specific thing would be nice for that.
It would. You might want to divorce your Instagram from your store, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
You might want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just do everything through Filthy Burger. So yeah, anybody, if you ever want to follow me, Yule Carter, on Instagram, you can follow at Filthy Burger, just like how it sounds.
Filthy Burger. Yeah.
Filthy Burger.
Exactly. That's what I see when I see Yule. A filthy burger.
Yeah, there you go. So welcome to our 1000th.
Have you ever eaten food out of a trash can?
No, never.
Now, would you? If you were hungry? I mean, if you were really hungry and there was a slice of pizza in the trash, Aaron L. Pizza in the trash can, would you eat it?
What kind of trash can? Outside in public?
Yeah. I mean, no, your trash can at home with a perfectly clean bag. No.
No, I would not.
What if you were starving? What if you weighed 90 pounds?
I've seen it. I've seen people do it.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think the thing you might want to ask me more is, would I take a bite of my dog's food?
That's an easy yes.
That I don't think I really want to, but every once in a while, I think
this isn't
any worse than Dinty Moore
or Spam.
Hey, Bruja's here. Don't listen to the first 5 minutes later.
Truant.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
All right, we've just been bullshitting about the store. Now we can get to the real subjects. Let me do this really quick.
Since
Don't you
you're
hate
not
when it gets stuck?
since you're not speaking, welcome back, Bruja. We miss you. What were you doing? Watching movies? Having a party? Torturing children?
Spending no, it's ridiculous. We were just making fun of you for not being here. But Mazel Tov. Welcome to our 1000th show.
1000th show.
Yeah.
1000K.
All right. Let's
1000,000.
God, it's just amazing that we got here. So this last week I went to the Berkeley Comic Show.
Oh, well, let's do this.
No, you don't have to do that.
I'm gonna.
All right, fine, do it. So we went to the Berkeley Comic Show, or I did. I gave those flyers out, and I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what I did. So we passed this out. This is the flyer I was telling you about. And I know that the print is really small where it says, no, not really. We're just moving to a really small place. But most people that read this or the letter that we handed out or the email that we sent out, they're like, oh, you're going out of business. And we're like, no, we're moving. It just was, it was a preamble, if you will.
People mostly read the beginnings of things, right?
I know. It's so funny. That's just like comic books. But we need you to keep buying them. So I don't care if you don't read it anymore. Just keep buying it.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, it's sad. Anyway, I like this advertisement, but on paper, it didn't really come out as old schooly as this actually looks. I think this looks a lot more old school. Jill said, why isn't it centered? Anyway.
Was that because it's old school? Or is that because Yule?
Exactly.
Yule is old school.
It looks like an old newspaper, crappy ad that you used to see all the time. Anyway, let's go to my account really quick. I picked up these comic books at a $3 table at the Berkeley Comic Show. And I actually pressed that Amazing Spider-Man, and it's really nice looking.
Do you have it since you're at home?
No, I don't, but I have something better than that.
Why am I supposed to believe you if you tell me things like, I pressed this book, and I know you're at home, and you don't have it?
I also got that Iron Man. Oh, let me get you a better picture of the Iron Man.
No answer.
I don't have all that stuff on here. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well, I have some other things to show you. You ready for this? Since you're such a jerk. All right, pull this up. All right, I'm going to show you the full front cover right now. Okay, so I bought that, or this was a Spider-Man that I pressed. This one I didn't buy at the comic show, but I'll show you some other ones that I did. So this is the first image. That's the second image. Sorry, it's going to bounce around a little bit. Here is the middle right. So this is the first, the before, and as you can see on the right, it's kind of like a little lifted right here.
Is it going concave or like towards the camera or away?
It's more towards, I think.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
And then that's what it looked like afterwards.
Okay, hard to tell the difference. I mean, I can see that
there's well, I'm using a phone, so you got to forgive me a little bit. And I'm going to just show you some things like that. So here we go.
Yes,
so please. In the back, did you see? You see that crease?
Yep,
right?
Yep. Two creases.
Here's another one. You're going to see it again.
Okay.
And there's the long one, and then that one on the right.
Okay.
And here's what it looked like after the press.
Ooh, go backwards. Go backwards.
All right.
Go forwards. Go forwards. Oh, forward is better.
All right. How about this one? So this is the bottom left on the back.
Yeah, I get you.
And then that's it afterwards.
Okay. Back and forth again.
All right. There it is in the back.
Yeah.
That was my feet too, by the way.
Yeah. Nice feet. Nice feet.
And there you go.
Okay. So if at all possible, like I can't tell really on this one because the glare is not in the same place.
Yeah. Well, it's tough.
Yeah, but I mean,
well, this is the best you're getting.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It looks better, but it's hard to tell how much.
So on the right, you can see that crease.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards.
Okay.
And then here's another something. All right, so I'm
Yep,
holding it.
Gotcha.
Oh, I didn't.
Definitely not a fair
That's a different
comparison.
one. Yeah, it's not. This is just the backpack. Okay, there'll be another one like that. So let's see the left here.
I do. I think I do. Yep. Looks
Okay.
like an inch wide gap.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it afterwards. I wish I could take the shot the same all the time, but here's on the right.
Is that cleanable?
Yeah, a little bit.
What'd you use? Goo Gone? What would you use?
Yeah, I use some Goo Gone.
Nice.
Don't use Goo Gone.
Why?
All right, here's the left. Do not use Goo Gone.
On comics?
Do not. All right, there you go. How's that? There's the first one. And that's the second one.
Okay.
That's the first one.
Mm.
That's pretty much the same. I don't remember what was bad about that first one. This is really boring for people, I'm sure.
I don't care.
All right, here's the bottom left. There's the bottom left.
Ooh,
It just kind of cleans it up a bit.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Sometimes the color just seems to be a little bit better afterwards. Yeah, catching it in the right light all the time is just super difficult. All right, here's one.
I believe you.
So here I'm holding it, and then there I'm holding it again. It's not great, and I could probably do it again.
It is better.
Better.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty happy with that.
Is the comic worth doing it again?
It's a good comic, and I made it better, so I'm happy with it. All right, I'm going to show you one more because that seemed really long and tedious for people. Maybe it isn't. You can see in the chat if people are okay with this.
I mean, whatever.
Okay, well.
They said we're looking at nerd porn. It's kind of true.
All right, so here is a Star Trek ad on the back of this X-Men that I have.
Yeah.
And, oh, wait, let me show you one I bought from the show. Screw this. I bought this from the show, everybody. This is a classic Hulk cover. Oh wait, let me get the
half of a comic book. It wasn't expensive.
Oh, shit, I don't have all of it. Really? I don't have any full cover. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just show me the edge.
This is Battlefield Berkeley. We talked about this not too long ago.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, look it on the right.
Yep.
And
looks chipped.
There it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, it flattens it out quite a bit.
That was obvious.
Yeah. How about this one? All right. So you can see there's some paint actually up on the top or some sort of marker. Mm-hmm. And you see these stress fractures on the left?
Yeah.
Those are color breaks. So there's not much you can do about that.
Right.
But I tried to clean up that paint as much as I could. It didn't really work that much, but I think it still looks good around the lettering and everything.
Okay.
And then there's some more paint. And there's that. It might have gotten a little bit better.
Is that a little closed tear?
Yeah, it is a little bit. Well, it's like fibers, I think. It's not really a tear.
Like sticking out of the book?
Yeah, kind of. All right, look at that one.
It's probably a tear.
Yeah, it's kind of a tear. I didn't pay a lot of money for this.
Okay.
So how's that? How you like that one? Up on the right?
Yeah, I like it a lot, but
there you go there.
I'd like to see it in person more than anything.
Yeah, well, of course.
Damn you, internet.
Yeah, damn you, internet. And let's look at the back here. All right, so there you go on the bottom left. I love the old ads too. They're hilarious. How's that?
I think it's better. It's really hard to tell on some of these, Yule.
Yeah, well, you get what you got. There's that. I did do a little cleaning on it also.
So are you getting to the point where you would call yourself proficient at this?
Yeah, I'm pretty proficient. There's a few things I'm not really comfortable doing. All right, I'll stop sharing now. There's a few things I'm not really comfortable doing, like spine work is very, I don't know, it's touchy. I don't know if I like working with the spines that much. And I don't really want to go in and do too much cleaning. So there's this like putty that you can use. Mm-hmm. And I usually use that to clean the book. And I just kind of roll it over it. You don't want to use it too much.
Picks up dirt.
They use it for like documents and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's nice. You can depending on how much time you want to work on something, you can clean something up with it.
Well, yeah, if it's $100 book, it's worth more time, and if it's $1,000 book, it's worth a lot more time.
Right, sure. I don't know if I want to touch $1,000 book with that stuff, but
you got to practice on junk books. Then figure out what
well,
you're doing
that's
so
true.
that you are willing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's all time consuming. You kind of
Yeah.
want to get into it, you know,
yeah, I get you.
because then you're like just doing it all the time.
Well, are
And you're
you an
doing it on track.
archivist, or are you just trying to make a quick buck? Right?
No, now I'm identifying which books of my own I
Yeah.
always wasn't very happy with.
Uh-huh.
That's what the X-Men's I didn't really show you. I showed you one, but not the other. Those were actually ones that I had that I've upgraded. And now I feel comfortable going and taking those books and seeing if I can't make them a little bit better.
Yeah, good call.
And I feel like I have.
Okay.
So there you go.
Nice.
Mine don't have paint on them like that Hulk.
Who paints
But the
them?
Hulk is
Why,
like really expensive.
why are they painted? Like, what's that about?
What you might do is you have a whole bunch of books and you want to sell them for really cheap, but you don't want to find out that anybody's been taking your books that you sold for really cheap and making money off of them. So you take a spray can.
Yeah,
right
Amoeba
over the
does
top
that.
of all the books.
Amoeba does that with their records.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There
So
you
you
go.
think that's what happened to that comic book?
Probably.
Really?
Sure.
Wow.
That's what I think.
You could just throw them outside and they would get destroyed. I mean, you don't have to do any work on a comic.
Well, it looks like it wasn't a lot. Anyway, I bought it pretty cheap. It was only $15.
Okay.
That's an expensive book, and I've been coveting it for a while. And now I can go towards, work towards upgrading it and not have to worry about that.
Cool.
So here are some other books that I purchased.
Mm.
I'm gonna I don't want a full screen because it's porn. I got some cherry Pop-Tart. I'm not going to show you the inside.
Yep.
I pressed this one. There's no
did.
before or after, but it's a nice looking. But this is the second print of number 1.
So
I spent $25 on it.
Worthless.
Yes, yeah, paper. Here's an ad for Vampironica. Am I blocking her boobs?
No, actually. I saw boobies.
I saw boobies. It's always. Anyway, here's another cherry I got. It's a Wizard of Oz parody.
Okay, gotcha.
And here's another one I got. I bet the guy was like, man, I always bring that underground box, but people always look through it, but never buy any of it.
And you were like, I guess I will.
Well, it's because that one time, and it's right over here, where I got that 3D one, because I was on a 3D kick. I'm like, oh, there was a cherry 3D. I never knew that. So I bought it. But now I kind of want them. I didn't get a first print of number 1. There was a bent up copy. And then there was one that wasn't bent up. They were both first prints.
Mm-hmm.
The bent up one was $100. The one that looked really nice was $200. And I'm like, I'm not paying $200 for porn. And he's like, well, I got a second print. And I'm like, oh, I'll take some of these too.
There you go. It's like having a reading copy, right? $20 is worth a reading copy.
I guess.
If you can't get it otherwise.
Well,
I mean,
I could have. I just didn't want to.
you?
Well, I was either going to the show to spend a lot of money on one comic book or get a bunch of books.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I feel like I got a bunch of books. I got 2 Spider-Mans that were like $30 each.
Yeah.
When I got them home, and I didn't even look in the bag, I just bought them. It was kind of stupid. I mean, I usually look in, but I knew I had to go back. I had to go to work, and it was early in the morning, and I should be at work. And I was wasting too much time buying comic books. So I'm like, all right, I don't even haggle, nothing. I just give all the money. The one guy was like $78, and I'm like, oh, he didn't make it 75, But they came. I got them home, and they looked okay. They weren't bad, but I put them in the press machine. Now they look really nice. I'm
Yeah.
very happy with the
Yeah.
purchase.
So what you do is you take them back to that guy and you be like, I'll
Yeah.
sell this to you for more money than you sold it to me, and see what he says.
When does that ever happen?
Never, but the books look nicer now, right?
Yeah, they don't look that nice. I mean, they're not worth that much more.
So if somebody walked into your store and you were totaling them up and they were like, oh, 78. Oh, how about 75, bro? How would you feel?
If they wanted to talk me down,
Yeah. How do
they do it
you
all the time.
do you enjoy it when people
No, I
like
don't like it because I usually price to sell. My prices are good.
right. Okay.
I don't know. I don't haggle at the grocery store. At a
Right.
convention, though, it's a little bit different. Usually it's with money. So if something is $80 and I only have $78, I'm going to offer $78.
I'll give you everything I have.
I might even like shove $3 extra away and offer 75, you know.
Oh, right.
But, you know,
Plus
the
fair.
idea is I don't have any more money. This is what I want to get, you know, and I'm sure nobody will really have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. I think at a convention, it's smart to overprice your stuff.
Yeah, well, you're going to, without a doubt.
I think it's smart.
We're gonna probably do the next Berkeley comic show. I gotta talk to my brother about that. And that'll be like in April, like right after we move.
What does that cost? That's a great idea. That is a great idea, Yule.
Yeah, well, they're very good to stores in the area. And
Yeah.
I think for the first time they give you a free table.
Okay.
And so even if I only want to do a table's worth of books, which would be about 5 short boxes, maybe long boxes, 5 long boxes on a table, maybe some, you know, trash underneath, I could take some really good stuff.
Yep.
What I'd probably be doing was taking some of Dane's stuff and using that to market the fact that we have moved to MLK.
Yep.
So right after we move on the 1st, which is a Wednesday, the very next, I'm not sure if it's a Saturday or Sunday, is going to be the Berkeley Comic Show. And wait, March, April. Yeah, April. Oh, man. April Fools is our first day.
Yes.
At the next place.
We're open.
Oh, my God. April Fools.
Dude, come on.
That's great.
Grand opening sign.
Yeah.
And then don't open. Just do it. It'd be great. It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
It would be nice.
Have people pay $1 so they can spin a wheel. That wheel determines which box they can select a comic from.
Lottery.
Spin the wheel.
Yep, spin the wheel. Spin the comics wheel. Maybe you get to walk out of there with a $10 comic.
All right, so let's get to the important part of the show, the rebranding of the show. Now we've talked about the rebranding of the comic book store. We're going to be different. We're going to be smaller. It's going to be a much more curated, with my perspective, for the bookstore, not just getting everything so that the cavernous store that we've had all these years, it's going to be much more fine-tuned. They'll be understanding comics, maybe, you know. There'll be a few of the Sandmans, but not all of them all the time. There'll be like the books that I like of the Fantastic Four, and maybe just the classics, but not like all the other ones. Speaking of superheroes, but you know, maybe that would be that way for X-Men or the beginning of Walking Dead or Wicked and Divine, but not all of it all the time. And by the time an issue hits its 9th issue, people in the store should know whether or not they want that book. And since we are gearing more towards a subscription-based service, there's not going to be a guarantee that that book is going to be on the shelf come the 10th issue. So it's one thing to have Batman in, you know, people come in, they want to see Batman. They want to see Wonder Woman. They want to see, you know, the classics like Spider-Man, maybe some of the new classics like Miles Morales or Ms. Marvel. But I'm not going to have every Ms. Marvel book all the time, you know, all the time. Same thing with Batman. You know, some of these miniseries, I look at them and I kind of dread them. If it's not something that's really super special, you're going to see the first issue, and that's probably all you're going to see. If you can't win me over, that's what you got to do. You got to win me over.
You have to train your customers to let you know that they want a book.
Well, I mean, this store is going to be much more conducive to having a conversation with a person.
Yeah.
And then another person.
Yeah.
So that these things can happen and you don't have to worry about, a million different things going on at once because, and then, truthfully, because it's just me and my brother running things now and we're there almost every single day, we're missing a lot of stuff. Not items per se, just helping people, being attentive, reorganizing, just all that stuff that happens. So this show, we're going to be,
what about it?
Rebranding this show because we have had this long epic run of episodes.
1,000K episodes.
1,000K.
1,000K episodes.
Adrian and I were talking the other day that this whole everything just doesn't really convey the concept that we're actually going for.
What are we going for, Yule?
Well, originally I was just going for a show that we talk about the stored comic books that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry, we're going to do that in a few minutes.
No.
But what is this program going to be going forward is really the question. We joked around about having a Seinfeld segment.
Yes,
we're not going to do that, Jill.
Torturing Jill. Promise her something she wants and then take it away.
Well, it's just like I've not that I want to, okay, but we don't talk really about Star Wars unless it's a comic book. We've kind of talked about it. We don't talk about like the other medias that are out there too often.
Well, I don't care about Star Wars, so I'm not going to bring it up.
Well, I'm just getting to what we were talking about the other day and our rebranding of this program.
Okay.
What we want to do is we want to come up with a title that would suggest more than comic books, right?
Who is doxed? Yes, more than comic books.
Yeah, more than comic.
You're more than comic books, Yule. You're not just a comic book fan and salesman. You're more than that.
Well, I don't want to be just a salesman anymore. If we're going to do this, I think we should engage and get some get some back and forth with the people that are watching. And it isn't just something I'm pimping through the comic show or store, I should say.
Yes, I agree with everything. What did he say?
So I want everybody to be on the lookout for I'm hoping it's going to be our next episode. We're going to change the title of the show. And that's what we're going to do.
What are we calling it?
Well, that's the question. What are we going to call it?
I don't know. I thought you had an answer for that.
My dream when we were opening the comic store was a name that nobody involved cared for. And it was like, wow, you get shot down that hard. You're like, whoa, I don't want to even come up with something now.
To be fair, all of those
I was slapped right in the head.
They were trying to save you some problems because you were talking about a comic book store as opposed to a comic book show on the internet. Right?
Well, that's true. Now, Social Circle Gaming says you could pick a major topic of the week for a bit. Yeah, and that's what I was going to use this for. And ATN's all, well, we should use that for the show instead. And I haven't told you what it is yet. I want to read this. Yeah, exactly. All that, whatever's hot. Yeah, we'll talk politics. Because who doesn't want to talk about the impeachment hearing? I didn't want any customers in the store today. It was gloomy. It was rainy. It was just nobody was coming in. And I'm like, well, let's just ensure that they don't come in. And I just played the impeachment hearing.
It would work to get me out of your store.
It's all right. Well, because most people that come in, it's from out of the rain so that they can do their cell phone.
You know what?
You know?
That's
So
one of the that always
and,
bothered me about
well,
bookstores and rain. Don't like it. Don't like it. They come in with their water, and I'm like, oh, get your water out of my
you should
store.
see my brother. He's pretty hardcore. I mean, you
Yeah.
come in and you mess up a comic book, he's gonna let you know, and he's gonna make you feel like an orangutan.
I mean,
You clumsy oaf! What are you doing?
Oh, don't worry
Don't you
about
realize
it.
you're dripping? You don't just drip on the comic that you're touching. It's all the ones that are below it.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff.
He's right to do it. No,
Yeah.
he's right to do it. People need to know that they're being jackasses in public.
That's right. Everybody does, especially their kids.
It's me too. Me too.
I'm joking. I mean, I'm not, but I am. But I'm not. There you go.
Well, I
Hey,
feel
man,
bad for the kid.
No, but the thing is that
if they don't know better,
you gotta love kids. And
yeah,
that's all there is
kind
to
of.
it.
You can't be mean to them. That is just off the table, right?
Well, I try and when it's kids,
you can be mean to their parents. You can tell their parents that they've done a very bad job raising their children.
Job. What are you thinking? Didn't you see that kid running across the street?
May your collection mold in Fox.
Yeah, well, unless it's your kid's social circle gaming, then maybe then I'll feel comfortable about doing that. But I don't know.
Hello, Mr. Hudson. Welcome to the program.
Mr. Hudson. Grind the kids up and sell them to wow.
Yes. I wasn't gonna read it out loud.
Jeez, that's so Sweeney Todd of you.
Life is cheap, Mr. Hudson.
Hudson. That's for Jill. Anyway, yeah. Who wants to, so we're going to be rebranding our show.
Thank you.
Instead of a segment called Mother's Basement. What if that was the name of the show?
No. What if the name of the show is
name of the show will be Mother's Basement,
and it will be at number 1.
It could be anything
every time
that you would find in Mother's Basement. That you've left behind,
including
in Mother's Basement,
including the dirty stuff. Just saying, there's dirty stuff out there. You and I both like it. It's out there.
You mean like
what?
Dirty stuff.
Stuff like you'd see in heavy metal, but maybe a little further on.
Oh man! Oh, we can talk about that.
You can talk about heavy metal without having to worry.
Well, I think we could do that anyway.
I got a lot of nudity in that.
Yeah, well, we can't. I don't think YouTube allows that stuff.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we'll have to be a little bit more sensitive than. I mean, it's one thing to have a cherry cover like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've seen things in heavy metal well beyond that.
Yeah, that's not inside.
Not on this show, Sonny.
Anyway, that's what our next program is going to be called, Mother's Basement. Starting with number 1.
And then continuing with number 1.
And continuing with number 2.
We'll just find a new way to say number 1. Right?
Right.
We'll spell it out. We'll have the number only. We'll do it in Old English. Whatever. It's always a number 1.
Why not Mama's Cellar?
Embossed.
I don't know. I always...
What's a cellar and
what's a basement? I'll tell you why, Fantinuum.
Yeah, I'll tell you why too.
It came to me. Well, that's not true.
In a dream. It came to him in a dream.
You hear when you hear about hackers, you hear about a 500-pound person on a bed in his mother's basement. You hear about collections of comic books left in your mother's basement. This is where it's been stored, your toys, all the crap that you left so that you could go to college, probably marry a girl and never come back home.
Out
So
here,
all your shit but left.
not so many basements out here. It's true, or
And
out there.
I was
But
thinking, well, I mean, it's just, it's the stereotype
it is.
of what, but even then, people were like, oh, that doesn't really say that you sell comic books.
Because you never did.
Well, that's why they were like, Mother's Basement just doesn't ring true. And not only that, when you're trying to encourage people to come into your store, you might
Rape
not want to call it a
dungeon.
basement.
That's what you call
I'm
it.
like, all right, that's fine. Now, there was I saw in a magazine, a British magazine, there was a store called Mother's Basement. And I showed my brother. I'm like, look.
How long did they last? How long were they
know.
in business?
8
One
years
episode,
running, boys.
one episode
Right
only.
here.
Oh,
All right. So, yeah, this is
the
our
transition.
1,000th. Yeah. And then, anyway, let's talk about some comic books. You interested in some comic books?
Maybe.
I'm not
Convince
really.
me. Convince me.
Batman is coming out next week or tomorrow.
I'm a little bit.
You're a big Batman fan?
Philip just saw the Joker movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
What do you have to say about that?
He tries not to spoil movies for me because he's going to want to make me watch it at some point in the near future. So he didn't tell me much other than the Batman's not in it at all.
Yeah. I knew that.
I didn't know that. It doesn't matter.
Well, did he say it was a tour de force of acting or something like that?
No, he did not.
He didn't say like, wow, this was like a very emotional piece, and I didn't realize that I was going to find a little similarity in myself and some homicidal maniac.
That's not what he said. No.
He didn't say anything at all to, I mean, what did he say?
He said that I should watch it. Jeez. And I said, I don't care about watching that movie. And he said, Batman's not even in it. And I said, I don't care because I know you're going to make me watch it anyway. And then he said, you should see that movie. That's what he said.
He doesn't talk about not tickling you. It was a piece, all right.
I'm not surprised if Hudson doesn't like it.
He was going off on some stuff the other day. I don't think it was the Joker movie, though. It was, God, I can't remember what it was, but he was really tearing an asshole.
Ask him how he feels about, well, I'll just ask him. Hudson, how do you feel about Black Panther or Wonder Woman, the DC movies? DC movie.
DC. I thought
Black Panther's Marvel, right? Black Panther Marvel.
Black Panther's Marvel.
I saw Black Panther with Hudson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So here's some comics that are coming out tomorrow.
What, tomorrow?
Cobra number 4.
Are you telling me that you didn't read anything this week?
No, I'm gonna mix it in.
Oh, you're changing the format.
Just a little bit.
Oh my God.
I don't have much to talk about reading wise. Cobra number 4 comes out tomorrow.
Fife.
The problem is I didn't get it in time. So
go big, bro. Go big.
I'm gonna go big. So the problem is I didn't get it in time, and I also had sold out of number 3, so I didn't even read number 3 yet. So I would recommend, if you're anything like me, you're going to need to get both these. And I've got number 1 and number 2 also. And the thing about Cobra is it is an action series, superhero characters. It kind of feels like Suicide Squad for those of you that read that book in the 90s. There's a whole bunch of different characters, and there's a lot of betrayal going on since the very beginning. The first issue has a real neat layout explaining all of the issues that have come before and doing them in like one-panel pages. So anyway, Cobra, Michelle Fife, good stuff. Family Tree number 3 comes out tomorrow. This is a new Jeff Lemire series. It's kind of moving a little slow, even though the action is kind of like moving the characters forward. So you're not getting a whole lot of answers and like what's going on, but basically this family, in the very least, have a propensity to grow limbs out of their bodies.
Tree man syndrome.
Yeah, they become tree people. And you find out that the grandfather, who the mother doesn't really like, he's like got a gun and he's like trying to save them from all sorts of stuff that's going on. And he's trying to show them the way. I guess he was involved in maybe offing his son who was turning into a tree.
Ooh.
I'm not sure.
That
I might have
shame?
been part of that. Okay, here we go. Spider-Man number 38 comes out tomorrow. There you go. I read 37 a couple of weeks ago, and I thought this was a really good issue. Number 37, that is. The artwork was nice. It was done by Ryan Otley. He's the guy that's been working on the book since the beginning. And it kind of tells a story about J. Jonah Jameson and how he's not really being respected by his peers because he's some old dude. And Spider-Man is going around and he's using this probability projector that his classmate is trying to create. Peter Parker is helping him with the powering of it. Anyway, he's going around and trying to work on his best possible outcomes using this as Spider-Man to kind of like beta test it. It was a nice little book. I enjoyed it. There was some very good Spider-Man isms. It's pretty much a standalone, although at the very end, the big creepy guy that's been around for a while, working in the shadows, there's a couple pages with him. So number 38 comes out tomorrow, and I'm assuming unless they start addressing that issue, this is probably just going to be a standalone. And since the last one was good, I really think this one's going to be a good one too. So yay, Spider-Man. It's been... I saw some people online saying how it's been taking too long and Nick Spencer isn't getting to it. I don't really have a problem with it. The guy in the background causing problems for him without him really knowing it can not be resolved for quite a while, and I won't really care. It's when it's something that's like a long story, like let's say the War of the Realms for Thor, and that's taking forever. This is taking forever to find out who the guy is, but not everything that goes on in Spider-Man's life is necessarily involved with that guy or girl. Tomorrow, Atlantis Attacks comes out. If you've been reading Jason Aaron's Avengers or maybe Invaders by Chip Zdarsky, that's been dealing a lot with Atlantis. Namor is attacking humans and isn't really fond of us, and I think this is going to be a pretty fun little mini series going forward. I don't think I'm going to really be involved in all the tie-ins because who really wants to do that? Anyway, if you're a fan of Namor kicking butt, this is probably something you're going to want to read. Tomorrow, Wonder Woman celebrates her 750th issue. We thought here at the show, if Marvel can have a 1,000th issue, or Wonder Woman can just for no reason have a 750th issue, the Flash is going to have one also. She has a whole bunch of covers. We only have this one. You know, there's some really good creators in here. Let me read off some of these people to you here. We've got Steve Orlando, who is now Wonder Woman's regular writer, Gail Simone, Mariko Tamaki, Greg Rucka. He's probably one of the most well-regarded Wonder Woman writers to ever write for her. Anyway, there's some pretty good artists. Riley Rossmo, Phil Hester. Yeah, some pretty good stuff. Let me show you the Riley Rossmo. I really enjoy his style. That's him. What do you think of that, ATN? Are you on the thing so you can say? Yeah. He loves it. Anyway, Riley Rossmo. Wonder Woman, 750. There's going to be a bunch of covers, so we know Fantinuum's going to be spending some money tomorrow. Batman number 87 comes out tomorrow. The last issue was for the most part a standalone, which involved Catwoman. And let me see if I can get. It's got some good art. Tony Daniel does a good job here. There's Catwoman down here, right here. And she's keeping tabs on someone that Bruce wants her to pay attention to. Meanwhile, Lucius Fox is doing some technical stuff with Batman. Also, Batman gets into a fight with Deathstroke. It's pretty sweet. Batman's pretty tough guy in this. You can tell Tom King isn't writing it. So if you're a fan of Batman being a badass again, oh yeah, at the end of that first issue, this one right here, 86, the Joker kills all his henchmen, or at least it looks that way. So yeah, boom.
My mic was muted, by the way.
That's all right. Tomorrow, Guardians of the Galaxy starts over with a new number 1. We thought, hey, we might as well do that too. So we're going to. A new number 1, everybody.
Great
Guardians
idea.
of the Galaxy. We're just, you know what we're going to do? We're going to say new number 1 written by Jason Aaron. New number 1 written by Al Ewing. And we're going to do all the people that block me, even though I've never talked to them on Twitter. What do you think about that?
I don't understand
how I can get blocked.
No, I mean, I get that people will block you because you follow people or whatever, but
please. And then tomorrow Superman comes out. I hear people like that.
Superman?
I was taking a look at our numbers of Legion of Superheroes, and that's doing really, really well. And it's not common that Legion of Superheroes would actually be a great selling book. It's overbearing with all the characters. It's steeped in history. If you don't know any of the things that are going on, there's a lot of different races and powers and code names, and they use their real names and all that stuff. And it's Legion of Superheroes is a real hard thing for people to get into. And then when Bendis was writing it, and I know he's doing his Bendis speak, and there's people that like that, but he was throwing all these characters and just like really just slamming you in the wall with all this information. And yet, bam, this is my best-selling Bendis book. So Superman, that's where it started in, that whole Legion stuff. Maybe you might want to pick this up. Ivan Rios is the artist. He's been doing it for the most part all the way since the beginning. And he's just fantastic illustrator. I got this because I haven't read Superman in a while, or at least, the main title. So I wanted to see if it was worth anything. You know how I feel about Bendis, but I feel every once in a while, I should give it a try. And at least it's not part of like one big crazy arc that's going on right now. So I don't have to worry like about a mini series to tie in with it.
So you're saying you're optimistic?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I just want to read a Superman story. I've been reading older, and so that anyway, there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Bendis is his favorite. Get it for him for Christmas.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Who is your favorite right now?
It's really
be a man and pick one.
Okay, I will. My favorite writer.
Yep.
I don't know if boy, oh boy.
You're not being a man.
Well, it would be easy to just say Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
And I think like he's the person I'm more likely to want to get into a fight with someone about.
Yeah, sure.
And it's funny because like in the 90s when I wanted to break into comics and I had friends that, cared about writing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Morrison was often, at best to people that didn't like him, he was pretentious.
You think that's true?
He knew more than you did, and he was going to let you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But and then other people just hate him. And I saw some people online talking about not liking some of the Grant Morrison books that I really like. Like he had a really great run on Batman. I don't normally like a Batman story, but it's excellent. I really dig it. And it led into some other stuff that he did. And they were talking about that and kind of trashing that. And I'm like, oh God, it's so good. Everybody, you got to read Final Crisis. But the truth is, you have to read it in conjunction with Batman RIP. And you might as well just read all of Grant Morrison's Batman to begin with that anyway. It introduces you to Damian, and it's just so good. Especially if you read the Black Glove storyline. It's like 10 Little Indians, the Agatha Christie novel or movie or whatever. And it's with Batman. It's so cool. They get to this island, and it's all these Batman and Robin inspired superheroes from around the world. And they all come by their boat, their bat boat, or there's Knight and Squire. They're the British Batman and Robin. Knight and Squire.
Yeah.
And all of their boats get blown up, and they're stuck on this island as some of these guys are getting killed.
Nice.
So it's like 10 Little Indians. It's so cool.
That's cool.
And it's just stuff like that. It's got great artwork throughout, and it's some good, real trippy stuff. And I remember an interview with Grant Morrison. He said something like, I wanted to take all those really weird Batman stories that you're like, oh, those are those alien stories and those aren't real and all that other stuff. And he's all, no. I want it to be real, but it's like it's real in Batman's mind. You got to think about like all the hallucinogenics that he's not only given to himself to ward himself from the Scarecrow's stuff, but just the Scarecrow always introducing new toxins into Batman's brain all the time.
Yeah, sure.
And like every villain has something like that, basically. Batman's like juiced. Oh, that sucks, Bruja. But yeah, so Grant Morrison's Batman is really good, and it culminates in Final Crisis. And that's some really crazy, weird stuff, and it's 100% Grant Morrison, and that's a little too much for some people. But I say Final Crisis is great.
But not you. You think it's good stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is like I'm just so super accepting of almost anything that Grant Morrison's going to do, because a lot of times I see things that he has put into comic books. I mean, we are. You got to know that as a comic book fan, we are graced with Grant Morrison working in comic books. He could have been in like other stuff, maybe not been successful as he is in comic books, but he has like, this is where his mind is. Like it's steeped in like in comics and telling stories, and a lot of times that coincides with things that we've read and liked. And when he comes in and does some of his wacky stuff, people don't like it if it's with Batman and Robin like that back there. Sometimes he's talking about stuff you don't realize that's something that's going to be talked about in the future, or it's going to be done that way later on down the line. I think The Invisibles, when that came out, that was super far ahead of its time. I think it's still we still haven't caught up to that. A lot of people look at like a Transmetropolitan. They're like, oh, it's so futuristic and blah, blah, blah. But it's really more of a story of today in that kind of wrapping. Anything Grant Morrison does is almost, with the exception of Happy. Ugh, not good.
That's a funny show, man.
I'm sure it is. And
it is.
He was trying to create a funny comic for that show.
It was pretty funny.
That was his attempt,
Yeah, it's adult funny, but it's funny. Yeah. It made me chuckle, and it's not easy for me to laugh at TV.
Yeah, I just wasn't into it as a comic book.
That's right.
But good on him. I'm glad he got 2 seasons.
Yep. Me too, actually, because I'll get to watch it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get something else. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I got on Grant Morrison,
Because
but
I asked you who your favorite was, and
oh
to
yeah,
like
that's right.
stand up and be a real human being, and
If I had like if I was in a closed, like I could only receive this one person's stuff,
yeah,
I might say something like a Jeff Lemire right now,
right now.
because he's putting out so many quality books. Gideon Falls, I love that book. It's
He
so
could
good.
turn lazy at some point in the future though, and then you'd be stuck with his stuff forever, and you'd be hating it as it
Yeah,
came out.
I would rather have something that I can, go back and learn something from. And if I'm stuck with something,
Yeah, I mean, who's to say he might end up being like the greatest of all time too?
The one thing about Jeff Lemire is that a lot of his stuff is really emotional. And I haven't gone back and read Sweet Tooth. It's very emotional. Roughneck is emotional. I think Essex County is, but I have it and haven't read it all. And you, I don't know if it's something I want to revisit all the time
I get
in
you.
quite the
I get
same
you.
way.
Rereading is not necessarily a great idea.
Yeah, I really like some of those books. Like Sweet Tooth was a great serial. Reading it monthly as it was coming out, wow, that was just a real treat. But I don't need to like sit down and read the books again, I don't think.
Did it make you cry?
I've never. Hold on a sec. I've never cried reading a comic book. Ever. All right, there we go. I didn't know where to get that look, but
I don't know.
yeah.
Definitely up close and personal though.
That's right. Never.
Sounded like a lie, but no big deal,
If I were the type to cry reading a comic book, I've cried purchasing a comic book because it's so expensive. So maybe that counts.
How's that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Hit him where it counts, right? Hit him in the pocketbook. Yeah.
God, sometimes
it makes me cry too.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm turning to my father or my mother. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Have I gotten so old that like, anytime it's a dog thing, I'm usually like, I don't know how Facebook knows what I don't want to see, but it's always like animals getting rescued or something like that.
Oh yeah. You watch one animal video and you get cat videos for a year.
Well, the thing, what I usually am interested in is how they go about doing it when a lot of times it's a dangerous situation. Like I saw one with like a deer with antlers. And they were like, it was 2 deers and they were like wound up in some sort of wire.
Oh, okay.
And the guys had to go in and cut them out. But of course, initially they don't have anything. And if they cut these guys out anyway, and they're freaking out, someone's going to get gored.
I saw a really good video. I saw a really good animal video where this guy it was in woodsy area, and all you could see was the woods in the background, right? And then there's this guy in camouflage, and he has sprayed himself down with deer scent so that he would be attractive to male deer, right? Because he wants to get a picture of him with a deer, or he wants to hunt.
Deer.
I'm not sure if he's hunting or not. I don't remember seeing a gun. Well, anyway, his wife is taking the video, and there's a big deer, and it's walking right up to him, and it's kind of nose out. If you've seen whitetail, you know what I'm talking about. They nose out real far and try to sniff you. Antlers, excuse me, for those of you that know. Anyway, this deer is like, wants to this guy. Yeah. And the guy's like, no, you're too close. And the deer is like, no, I'm not. Bam, like tries to mount on him, right? Tries to get up on this guy. And his wife, bless her heart, she zoomed in.
Yeah,
beat the crap out of him.
Get the shot.
It beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't have sex with him.
Man. Did he live?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Of course he did.
Of
People
course.
people that stupid live through everything.
How much does a deer weigh?
Well, that one probably more than 200 pounds, close to it anyway.
Those things are probably like 500 pounds.
No, not a whitetail.
Not a whitetail. Oh, they're small.
Yeah, they're bigger in Texas than they are up north. I don't know where he was. It was fun though. It was a good video. I was real happy when I watched that video because I really do want people to be
people.
No, I just want people to be a little bit more afraid of nature because they don't respect it as it is, right? It's like it's just nature, and they go and they drive their cars across closed mountain passes all the time, and then they die in their cars.
Have you seen the one where like the tiger grabs someone out of the car, like the mother-in-law out of the car?
I have not.
It's ridiculous.
Did you see the one where the tiger sprints across the road right behind a motorcycle? Like it just didn't quite have the speed to get the person on the back. And it just goes diagonally across the road. And like, oh, that is something to think that there's still tigers in the world that could go and eat people. That's, I like it. I like it a lot. I'd be okay with monsters too. Did you see The Mist?
No, I haven't seen The Mist.
There's spiders in that show so big that like you can see them from 50 meters away. You know,
said show. Is this a movie or a television program?
I think it was a made-for-TV movie.
Okay. There's been a couple of those, I think.
I'm not up to speed.
So spiders, huh? Is it like creepy spiders or big monster spiders?
I'm sorry. Is there any other kind?
Well, if it's a spider that I could find in a state of any size, then yeah. But if it's like comically big, like on the
do you know what a jumping spider looks like?
No.
Okay. You should look one up on the internet. Imagine a jumping spider whose body is the size of a trash can lid.
That's pretty big body.
And that's most of the spider because their legs are all tucked in, right? But that's what was in this show, in The Mist. There were white jumping spiders that big, except there were web dwellers, and they were up under the overhang of his house, having already been there and gotten his wife and like silked her up and like, oh, I don't want that in our world. But tigers are cool. Tigers are cool.
Especially if they're taking care of jumping spiders.
I don't like spiders. They make me very nervous.
Yeah, I remember that arachnophobia movie. I've seen that. That was back
John Goodman
movies.
John Goodman.
That was I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's a a little thing that could be on me. But I don't know. I mean,
what
spiders? They're
spiders. Cool.
Spiders. Tarantulas.
So there's a thing There's a thing out here. It's in South Texas too. It's called a tarantula hawk, and it's a wasp. It's a pretty big wasp, and it has a very painful sting by all reputation.
Oh my God.
But it goes and it finds a tarantula, and it shoves its baby in there.
Lays its eggs in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those parasitic wasps. And then the babies eat. Oh, the baby. I think it's just one.
Oh, it's just one.
Yeah. Spider goes back to his hole and baby eats it from the inside out.
This is the kind of thing you need to have those pictures up so we can share the screen.
I don't know. Nature is very ruthless.
What are they
merciless called? It's merciless.
Tarantula spider or
tarantula hawk. I've never seen a picture of one laying its egg or a film of it laying its egg. But it's not uncommon for wasps to be parasitic. The many of them do that, where they lay their egg in some other creature, and then
this is what the show is really gonna be from now on.
Parasitism, yay!
Oh, here we go. There we go.
That's our boy. And they're big. They're probably like when you see them in the wild, they're probably not quite 2 inches long, or maybe thereabouts.
Oh yeah, that brave wilderness. So you see this picture here,
Which one?
the one I have up now.
The biggest one? Yeah.
So that's you can watch this guy get stung by this thing.
Why would I want to do that?
Why not?
Because he's just gonna scream.
This dude is crazy. All right, so look up Brave Wilderness on YouTube if you want to see this, and it's basically a nature show, but he's like going to find he go up the pain scale. Oh, this is like a number one on the pain scale. I'm going to do it, and he gets like a cup and he puts it down on his arm or whatever, and then he gets stung by these things, and what an idiot. It's great.
Doesn't sound like a nature show. That would be a good one though.
You go all over the place to find these things. You can't just I mean, they're not all in like his backyard or anything like that.
Okay, where does he go?
All over?
I don't know. What hurts?
All sorts of things. All sorts of things like scorpions and spiders and those tarantula hawks and all sorts of stuff.
I wonder what's number one. Let's find out.
Next show.
No, right now. I'm doing it
right now.
You go ahead. You do what you want.
Well, I'm gonna get off the air.
Oh, don't talk. It's all those. Bullet ant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. So, hey, everybody, remember.
What are we remembering?
You can visit Fantastic Comics on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you're thinking like, I can't get in the store as often as I used to, but I'd really like to give the store some money, you can follow our Patreon page and donate some, that kind of stuff. But do you have that picture up?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, until next week, this whole comics is over, but we'll get at you next week. Bye.
Bye. We're gonna rebrand.